So the time, it's about 1 a.m. out here, Texas time, San Antonio time. And I just got off a YouTube live. We had a panel on simping Saturdays, right? So we talked about ways for men to quit simping, right? To quit chasing women, to stop being a beta, to feel like you have to put women on such a high pedestal that you don't even have any more self-pride in yourself, self-respect. And during this, there was a couple of heated discussions, even one that I was a recipient of. Now, we had a female caller get on, and she started chastising some of the viewers. So it was something that it started getting ugly. I was just quiet listening. But the point I'm making here is that it's more grown up, a lot more grown up, and you actually prove your masculinity if you can just shut your mouth and use your 2 ears. Shut your mouth and use your 2 ears. Okay? That has always been from a point of leadership to listen instead of talk. If you're a supervisor, you want your folks that work under you or work for you to speak what they got to say. And what is your job as a supervisor? Is it to speak over them? Is it to interrupt them? No, it's to use your 2 ears and listen. And there's a lot of respect that can be gained from simply listening. And the respect is earned a little bit after the action, after the argument or whatever's happened. A lot of us, we feel very competitive in the moment. We feel to define our masculinity is to talk over someone or get louder, right? Because somehow loud means you're more of a logical, critical thinker, that you'll win the argument. That's not the case. When you can keep your bearing, when you can keep your cool, and you're listening to someone spout off and talk about how wrong you are, but you can just chill. You can literally just hear it out. And I'm not saying just be quiet and you're starting to shake because you really do want to say something and you're getting angry. No, you're so smooth about it that you can just totally listen. And that comes from a place of maturity, and it's a whole other level beyond the labels of beta, sigma, alpha. It's just being a man, period. Okay? No one can argue with a good listener. Or no one could argue with someone having the trait of being a good listener. What are you gonna say? I don't like the way that you're such a good listener. No. Now, people will say, you talk too much, which is ironic because I'm explaining to you how to listen more and I'm talking, but you get what I'm saying. My point is, if you're watching this and you're in the manosphere, you're a peer in this, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing or something close to what you're doing, take the time to listen. If you're coaching clients, if you're coaching a football team, if you're coaching your staff at work, okay, if you're on a date, instead of flexing about all the things you do, sometimes you just gotta chill and listen to the woman. Even if she's talking too much or whatever, listen. This does not say, okay, let's not get into polarized thinking. That doesn't say, all you do is listen and you don't talk. It's not the case. What you need to do is you need to be able to process the information, and from there you're like, cool, now I'm gonna flow into conversation. You're not being some mute, you're not being some quiet guy who women are like, damn, what's wrong with that guy? But you're showing through verbal and nonverbal communication that, hey, I'm listening, okay, cool, right? For example, you're nodding your head, you're listening. And it's like, so you talked about what's happening right now in the news. Let's talk about the news itself, the media. Don't you think they spread a lot of what's happening, right? Bam. You just validated something she spoke on, and then you added your own thoughts. Instead of bam, bam, boom, I'm gonna say my point. They're talking about another point because no one's listening, and then nothing gets done. And then it's more about who's right instead of getting along, right? Instead of acting right, you're worried about who's right. So I'm trying to drive the point because a lot of you guys, I see clients that they want to text long text messages also and not listen. Right? They want to flex. Like, this is what I do. This is how much I'm making. Got it. Okay. Do a little bit of that and then just let her talk. Women love to talk. Okay. It's not a bad thing. Could be sometimes, right? But they're feeding you the information. And what you do with it, that's how you get the strategy going on how to get some good conversation flow. But circling back to all this, you also need to apply this beyond dating, beyond the game. You need to apply this beyond seduction, red pill, and whatever you believe in. This needs to apply to you as a man. Okay, if you're at a restaurant, you don't know what to pick, ask them, hey, what's a special? What's one of the more popular choices? And you listen. Okay, cool. A lot of the big thing with this is the nonverbal communication that you're listening. Doesn't mean you're simping. Doesn't mean that you're, tell me more. No. But it doesn't mean you're simping so much. You're not simping yourself by having to talk so much, by having to get that anxiety out as if you have something to prove. Just be about your business. Be smooth about it, right? Let the other ones get flustered. When you're listening, you're actually the pedestal. Okay, and I don't mean this in a very cocky way, but whether it's dating or not, the second they see, they real recognize real. When you can calmly sit down and listen to someone, they may not like it. They may not like it in the moment because they can't control their emotions. They can't control, maybe they even try to do a character attack if it's an argument. But after a while, they'll say, you know what? This guy's so chill. He wasn't threatened by me, even though I try to hit him with everything. Okay, salute. Same thing with dating, right? If you can show when you're talking to a girl, you go to a coffee shop or you're trying to buy groceries, and all of a sudden she starts talking about what groceries she likes and whatnot. Instead of you being all scared and she can feel that creepy energy, you just sit back and you listen. You're like, cool, all right. You're not like smiling the whole time and trying to know. You listen and you're like, okay. So what do you think about these cans over here? Or what do you think about this matcha tea? The fact you can be smooth and chill and you don't have to keep talking to get your nervous energy out, shoot, you got it in the bag. So use it today. Use these. Sometimes a lot more than this, and you'll get farther. All right? Check out the next video, MegaFire.